Hey everyone, welcome back to the NFA Review channel. Today we're going to take a really in-depth look at a cool new product from Angstadt Arms and KG Made. It's a collaborative, integrally suppressed 9mm. Let's go ahead and get down to the details. The UDP9i has been in development for quite some time now. A little backstory here, Rich with Angstadt Arms met up with Kyle of KG Made at the IV8888 shoot. I was actually there as well. Behind the scenes, they decided to come up with this collaborative product. Rich had some very specific guidelines he wanted to follow to improve on the MP5 SD platform that has no continued support here in the United States. So some guidelines that they followed were it has to be ported so the end user can adjust the velocity of the projectile, mainly keeping 115, 124 grain ammo subsonic, and also putting the ports back in for when you're shooting subsonic rounds so you don't lose the terminal ballistic capabilities of that round. Also, they wanted the outer diameter of the tube to be able to fit within standard handguards. They also wanted it to have a vented blast chamber so you don't have any first round pop issues. They wanted it very robust, so it is full auto rated, and they wanted it to be end user serviceable. So let's go ahead and break this down and take a look at just what makes it tick. To keep things simple for today's review, let's just go ahead and get the specs out of the way between these two, and then we're going to go into the details on just one, because they are the same rifle. The only difference is the size of the baffle stack and the barrel. So you have here in my right hand, you have the rifle length version. This is the UDP9i. R stands for rifle, and this would be the C, the carbine, which is a factory SBR. The rifle comes in at an overall length of 31¼ inches. The barrel is 16½ inches in length, which comprises of a core that is 8 inches of barrel pinned to a 8.1-inch suppressor core. And then over here you have the factory SBR, which is a 11.75-inch overall barrel, 6 inches of barrel pinned to a 5.75-inch core. So again, those are the only differences between these two guns. For the sake of this video, let's cover the rifle. All right, the backbone of this entire project is the Angstadt Arms UDP9 upper and lower. So they are comprised of 7075 T6 aluminum that's been Type 3 hardcoat anodized, and they sent this with the Magpul MOE K2 grip, the Magpul CTR stock, and a standard charging handle. So it is basically stripped down. I'm pretty sure they did this to kind of pass the savings on to you guys, the end user. So if you want to throw in your favorite trigger or ambidextrous safety, or maybe change the stock out, charging handle, whatever. I think they just sent this out so it's a gun, it functions good, but you could make some improvements if you wanted, and you wouldn't have a bunch of wasted parts laying around. So it is very well built. If you're not familiar with how these operate, these are not gas operated like a normal AR-15. These are blowback operated. And the base of the bolt in the Angstadt Arms bolt is actually cut to strip rounds off of a Glock magazine. So again, this is a Glock magazine fed 9mm blowback operated AR-15. One of the huge differences here that you're going to see is this massive, nicely machined magazine release. Really well done. You have no problem finding it, even if you have on some winter gloves. On the other side of the gun, you have a standard bolt release and a single-sided safety. You remember when I mentioned earlier that serviceability was one of the key features of this rifle? Well, to do so, you just use the supplied Allen keys that came with it. It also ships with a Glock magazine, a case, and a manual, and some other miscellaneous goodies. So I already went ahead and took the liberty to remove the 6 Allen screws holding on the Odinworks handguard. Then you're going to want to remove that, place that aside. And then to remove the tube, which is grade 9 titanium. Again, remember, another parameter was to keep this as light as possible with high quality materials. Just go ahead and remove the end cap there. And then in a twisting motion to break free any carbon in the tube, you're going to want to twist this, and it's going to break the hold on the O-ring here in the back. So just give it a twist as you pull, and there you go. And so as you see here, this is what you're left with. It looks pretty crazy with the tube off, but it's pretty simple. You have your barrel here pinned and welded to the suppressor core, which is fully welded 17-4 stainless steel, onto the barrel that has the 15 ports here. So you got 5 rows of 3, and then you have the O-ring engagement in the back, so you don't have any leaking. Once you have everything removed, you can clean the suppressor. So they recommend 2 intervals, the first one being 200 rounds, basically to just break the tube free and do some light cleaning, and then at 2,500 rounds to soak the front of the suppressor in a cleaning agent. I've already shot about 300 rounds through each already, and today before the video I wanted to kind of clean up the suppressor body itself and everything, and you know what, it really wasn't that bad. There was a little carbon here that I knocked off with a brush, and I had the plugs out and they screwed right back in fine. I didn't even hit it with a brush. So yeah, I mean, as long as you, I would say every 500 rounds, kind of get in there, knock some carbon off with a wire brush, spray some lube in there, and you'll be good to go. If you look at the back of this suppressor tube itself, or the body, it's ported. So it's gonna back vent gas and utilize kind of like a reflex type design. And what that does is it lowers the back pressure in the can and negates any first round pop. So you have a lot of volume here, baffle stack here, and no annoying port pop or gas pressure in your face or in your right ear. Now when you adjust the ports, that's something that I can't really test too much here because it's all going to vary on your elevation. I'm at sea level. I went ahead and removed all the ports during the review on both guns to see what it would sound like, and it was downright magical even with the 115 grain. So what you're going to want to do is I would remove, say, the whole first ring of these. Okay, so I'll go ahead and illustrate that here and get all 5. And as I said earlier, I already have rounds to this thing and I'm not having any issues. And they do, I think they give me, yeah, they give me 5 spares. So when I undoubtedly drop this in the carpet and can't find it, or if you're at the range and it rolls off the bench, you won't freak out, you have spares. And these look like just standard set screws that you can probably buy from Make Master Car if you find the right size. So again, that's as easy as it was. I have all 5 removed from the first one. So technically I could go out, grab my chronograph, and then work from there with 115 grain or 124 and see how many I need to remove to get right under that transonic threshold. So pretty cool. Again, I removed all 15 of them for the review you're going to see here shortly, and it sounds great. Once you have the suppressor tube all clean, any crud in the vents in the back and the set screws, throw a light drop of oil on the O-ring and you can reinstall the tube. One cool thing about this is you can actually orient the writing on the tube to be exactly where you want it. So those of you out there with OCD issues like me, you can line it up nice on the right hand side of the gun so the writing's right side up. Once that's on, throw on the lock ring. It's a nice lightweight anodized 7075 aluminum. Snug that down, don't get too crazy. And then the Odin Works rail slides right over the top, and then you can reinstall your 6 screws and you're ready to rock and roll. So quick little recap. What you have here is a product that the market has wanted for quite some time. The Glock mag lowers are very popular, but now we have an awesome user serviceable integral version. So they do sell a pistol version as well, guys. It comes with a stabilizing brace, and then of course they have the SBR and the rifle, all for a $19.95 retail, so $1,995 retail. Again, adjustable porting, user serviceable, high-end materials, and backed by 2 great guys that own 2 kick-ass companies. Let's go ahead and hit that range and see just what these sound like. All right, best part of the review, live fire testing. Today we're going to stick with a specific format. We're going to do ports closed in the SBR to see worst case, and we're going to do ports open in the rifle link to see best case. We're gonna do the port side, so the microphone picks up the worst case scenario noise with the ejection port sound. We're gonna do 115 grain, 140, 124, 147, and 165. Then we're gonna do a muzzle view, and then we're gonna do a 50-yard target view. We're gonna do that with the rifle length and the SBR. And then we're gonna remove all the ports in the SBR to see just how quiet this thing can do. And we'll do the 115 up to 165 again to give you guys a demonstration on what it can do. Let's get to it. All right, now that sounded pretty awesome. Let's go ahead and remove these ports today, guys, so we can see just how it sounds. We're gonna test the 115s, 124, 147, and 165 and see just how quiet this little SBR can get. Well, I hope today's video was fun to watch, guys. It was certainly fun to film. What an incredible product. Big shout out to KG Made and Angstadt Arms for teaming up to create such an awesome combo here. The SBR, I'm gonna go ahead and touch base on that first. Yes, we did have a little sonic crack as expected with the ports in, but strangely enough, I didn't get any port pop in my right ear when shooting the 115s and the 124s with the ports all closed off. And I think we can attribute that to the porting on the back of the can that bleeds in, that negates the first round pop. I think that's dropping the pressure enough to where it's not backfeeding back through the can and out the ejection port into your right ear. So shooting 115 and 147, yeah, it's breaking the speed of sound. People are gonna hear it. But as a shooter, like the sound happened like 25 yards away from you. It was really cool, no discomfort at all. Then shooting the 147s, 165s with the ports closed again, sounded fine. Then when we took the ports out, things changed dramatically. It was pretty hard to tell the difference between the 115s and the 124s. And then the 147 and 165 grain, again, are downright magical. Huge shout out to Freedom Munitions for those. Guys, those 165 grains, beautiful. Then the rifle length version, guys, this sounded magical the whole time. As you know, we had the ports open just to see exactly how crazy quiet we can get that gun. That is like as quiet as you can get. That is the cream of the crop. So it's really up to you guys. Do you want a two-stamp gun? Is compactness and with the ports out, max quiet important to you? Or can you sacrifice a little bit of length to go down to one tack stamp, only paying for the can on the rifle length version? It's totally up to you guys. Backyard quiet, critter killing, I'd probably go with the rifle version. Maybe throw a MVB stock on there, Trigger Tech trigger, something like that. Holo sewn sight, whatever, night vision, whatever you guys have to kill armadillos at night. I don't know if you have the same problem that I have, but that would be, with 165s, the most quiet you can possibly get. Guys, thanks for watching today's video. If you want to support the sponsors that support me, click in the link below. I'm going to have everybody listed that helped out with today's video and the promo codes that go along with them. And if you guys want to stay up on all my current reviews, I have a lot more in the works. Make sure to click that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.